I'm going on a journey down a narrow and bumpy road. I'm going on a journey so that I can learn and grow, reaching far and wide, and adventure I will find that it's so great having Jesus by my side. I'll be stretched so tall I might wobble but I won't fall.
Right, well, welcome. Day 4.
I know.
Day 4 already of Backpackers, and we've got on the bus. We've taken our bus journey
There was a lot of ups and downs.
over the mountains,
oh
through the
my
mountains,
goodness.
a few tunnels
You
as
were
well.
like, woohoo.
What? We're giving the
There's a
clues
little
away
clue,
now.
a little
Another
clue.
clue away. So we're in a very mountainous country, quite close to Italy. You've got a funny looking hat as well.
I've got an alpine hat, so the Alps
the
feature
Alps,
in this country.
I have this big lump of cheese.
Oh, you make me
I put my head in it
hungry.
and make some cheese. Say cheese.
Very good for my cheesy jokes.
Oh,
Andrew.
you've not got some cheesy jokes, have you? Oh, great.
And I've got a special little doofer here.
Wow.
This is a special little knife. I can pair my apple with it. I can open a tin with it.
Wow.
I can even cut my nails.
So a
A
multi-functioning.
multifunctional knife. Where is the country we're in today, Andy?
Well, I think we've had enough clues. We are in Switzerland. This is a Swiss Army knife you have
Swiss
there.
Army
Fantastic.
knife.
And not only we're in Switzerland, we are in the Alps.
We
are in
are.
the Swiss Alps. We have,
Beautiful.
in the background, we have this beautiful mountain called the Matterhorn.
Oh yes.
It is a big mountain. And we've even had to take a bit of a cable car to get up this far. Because
That was exciting and a
it
bit
was
rocky
good.
for the wind.
So, if I did geography at school, and I remember learning about pyramidal peaks.
Oh,
So,
yes,
and this
yes.
is almost a perfect pyramidal peak, probably as good as you're going to get in the natural world. It is 4,478 metres tall,
Wow.
one of the highest mountains in Europe. Its slopes and surroundings are popular with walkers and skiers and snowboarders.
Oh yeah.
You can do a wee bit of
But
skiing
those
and snowboarding.
sports, yeah.
And some of it can only be accessed by train or cable car, like we've
Yes,
done.
that's right.
It is dangerous, but beautiful.
Oh, so
Absolutely
beautiful.
So here we are, in Switzerland, at the Matterhorn. Big, massive.
And
mountain.
Switzerland's also really popular for chocolate, Andy. We all love
Oh, we
chocolate.
do.
And
Chocolate.
Andy, guess what? I've got a little Swiss chocolate joke.
Okay, I'll get that. I hope it's not too cheesy.
It might be a wee bit cheesy. Andy, why did the Swiss Toblerone go to school?
I don't know. Why did the Swiss Toblerone go to school?
Because he really wanted to be a smarty. Because he was a Toblerone, he wanted to be smart,
To be a
smarty.
smart- Okay, excellent.
Okay.
Good. Right, anyway, I think we are going to do some aerobics today.
Oh, yes,
Time for
yeah,
some
let's
aerobics. Up
lumber
in
up.
the mountains, up in the mountains. So the air's a bit thin up
well,
here.
the ear's
so
a bit thinner.
could be a bit one out of breath for this one. So we're going to do some aerobics and we're going to sing our song, Going on a Journey. So keep singing it, keep doing the actions, absolutely fantastic. And then we'll be back to learn some language.
now the language is a wee bit different, Andy.
Yes, so we'll explain later. And we have some funky facts about Switzerland
Funky facts.
as well. So we will see you for them very, very soon.
Very soon.
Enjoy your aerobics.
Good morning! Are you guys ready for a wake up, shake up?
This morning we're doing an upbeat song and it's called Father Abraham.
Let's get to it.
Father Abraham had many sons. Many sons said, Father Abraham, I'm one of them, so are you. So let's all praise the Lord. Right arm, Father Abraham had many sons. Many sons said, Father Abraham, I'm one of them, so are you. So let's all praise the Lord. Right arm, left arm, Father Abraham had many sons. Many
I'm going on a journey down a narrow and bumpy road. I'm going on a journey so that I can learn and grow, reaching far and wide, and adventure I will find that it's so great having Jesus by my side. I'll be stretched so tall, I might wobble but I won't fall, in circles up and down around the bend. Step by step, not much longer, for I know I'm getting stronger, and it's so great having Jesus as my friend. I'm going on a journey and I'm heading outbound. I'm going on a journey over new and shaky ground. Not on sinking sand, but on solid rock I'll stand, and it's so great having Jesus hold my hand. I will be stretched so tall, I might wobble but I won't fall, in circles up and down around the bend. Step by step, not much longer, for I know I'm getting stronger, and it's so great having Jesus as my friend. To discover and explore, I'm going on a journey 'cause it's fun to see some more. Such an awesome sight when I reach the highest height, and it's so great having Jesus in my life. I'll be stretched so tall, I might wobble but I won't fall, in circles up and down around the bend. Step by step, not much longer, for I know I'm getting stronger, and it's so great having Jesus as my friend. Clap your hands now. You're doing a great job. Keep going. Sing along with me now. Are you ready? I'm going on a journey. I'm going on a journey. I'm going on a journey. Yeah! I'm going on a journey. I'm going on a journey. I'm going on a journey. Take it away, guitar. Woo! Give me the best yeehaw! Yeah! Journey down a narrow and bumpy road. I'm going on a journey so that I can learn and grow, reaching far and wide, and adventure I will find that it's so great having Jesus by my side. I'll be stretched so tall, I might wobble but I won't fall, in circles up and down around the bend. Step by step, not much longer, for I know I'm getting stronger, and it's so great having Jesus as my friend. I'll be stretched so tall, I might wobble but I won't fall, in circles up and down around the bend. Step by step, not much longer, for I know I'm getting stronger, and it's so great having Jesus as my friend. Step by step, not much longer, for I know I'm getting stronger, and it's so great having Jesus as my friend. Step by step, not much longer, for I know I'm getting stronger, and it's so great having Jesus as my friend. Yeah!
Right, well there we go. We are done our aerobics, we have done the actions to the song.
Hard
Yes.
work up in the mountains,
Hard work
I can
up in the
tell you.
mountains.
Got the heartbeat going.
Definitely, but yeah, okay. So we're ready to do some exploring up here in the mountains. The views are fantastic.
Oh, they're
Absolutely brilliant.
amazing.
Right, we are in Switzerland, so it's time for some funky facts about Switzerland. So here we go. Fact number 1. Did you know that there are more than 1,500 lakes in Switzerland? So in Switzerland, it contains about 6% of the Europe's fresh water stocks.
Wow.
And the largest of these lakes is Lake Geneva.
Of course, all the snow.
Yes, the
Melting.
snow as well, melting as well is going to make more fresh water. So there's loads of lakes here as well as mountains. There's loads of lakes. What a beautiful country.
It's amazing.
Mountains and lakes, fantastic. You mentioned chocolate earlier, so here's funky fact number 2. Did you know that Switzerland produced the most amount of chocolate compared to any other country?
I would believe that.
Yes, absolutely. And Swiss people consume the most amount of chocolate per person in the world. And the country is famous for producing some of the world's highest quality chocolate. We've mentioned Toblerone.
Oh,
There's
boy.
loads of other ones that you do.
And What do you get when you dip a baby kitten in Swiss chocolate?
I don't know. And I don't know how anyone ever finds this out. But a baby kitten dipped in Swiss
You get
chocolate.
a kitty cat. Oh!
I think you're getting lost. I think we need some of your jokes, guys. Right, anyway, the last one, funky fact number 3. Did you know that Switzerland accidentally invaded its neighbouring country called Liechtenstein back in 2007?
Oh, Andy, I think you're making
No,
these up now.
that's true fact. In March 2007, there was a company of 171 Swiss soldiers, and they mistakenly entered Liechtenstein because they got a bit disorientated. They took a wrong turn due to bad weather conditions.
Maybe the fog or
and they
mist
actually
came
entered
down.
a different country. So technically, it was an
Okay,
invasion.
it was an invasion.
Technically, but they quickly returned back to Swiss territory. But they had still travelled 2 kilometres into the country.
Oh,
and then
wow.
came back. So there you go. Accidentally invaded
Well,
another
I
country.
can honestly say I did not know that fact.
There we go. Right, some language.
Language. Now, boys and girls, Switzerland's really interesting. It has its own sort of special language, but it also speaks French and Italian. And we've been to France and Italy, Andy.
We have, yeah. We've learned
So-
some of those.
And we've learned some of those languages. But they also speak their own German. So we're actually going to do some German
we're gonna learn
today.
some
We're going to
German.
learn some German today. So, if we say hello, good morning, we say Guten Tag.
Okay, Guten Tag.
Oh,
Guten
Andy,
Tag. I can do
I
that
hope you see he's getting
I
better
can do
every
that
day.
one, I can do that.
Now, I would ask you how you are, Andy. I would say, wie geht es, Andy? And you would say, mir geht es gut, danke.
Okay.
Right, well, I'll go
Yeah,
slow.
break that one down, I think.
Mir geht es gut, danke.
So,
Mir
mir
geht
geht
es gut,
es gut.
danke.
Danke.
So, mir geht es gut, danke.
Mir geht es gut. Danke.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
How
That's
did you get on with
pretty
that one
good.
at home? That was a bit of a tricky one. Yeah.
And then my name is, mein Name ist.
I think I could.
Now that's quite easy.
So, mein Name ist
Andy.
Andy.
Mein Name ist Andy. And now this is quite an important one.
Okay.
This is quite an important one in Switzerland, especially with all the
Oh,
sports and the snowboarding and
skiing,
everything.
downhill.
So this one is, ich habe einen Knochen gebrochen.
What?
Ich habe einen Knochen gebrochen. It means I have broken a bone.
I've broken a
Because you
bone.
might need
'Cause
to
you
go
might
to
do
hospital.
that,
So try that one,
Okay,
Andy.
right, okay.
Ich habe
Ich habe
einen
einen
Knochen gebrochen.
Knochen gebrochen.
Okay, we'll try that again. Ich habe einen
Ich habe einen
Knochen gebrochen.
Knochen gebrochen.
There we go.
I have
There we
broken a
go.
bone. Yeah,
So
okay.
you might. It's very important to know that in Switzerland.
In Switzerland, absolutely, yeah, because if you're skiing down those mountains. Do you know, actually, I had actually learnt one piece of German.
Oh,
And you know, I told you on Monday that I
You
did
remembered
French.
a bit of
I did
French?
a French at school. Well, I actually didn't do any German at school, but my friend did. And he taught me something in German. It's the only phrase that I've ever remembered in German. And
Okay.
he taught me it, and it's not very useful at all, but it's a bit fun. It's Ich esse kleine Kinder.
Is eche kleine Kinder.
Do you know what that means?
Oh,
It means I eat small children.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
There's children in there, but I eat small children.
Really random.
Andy, you're scaring
I
the
know, I'm scared of that. I'm
backpackers.
sorry, I do apologise. But that's
Why
the
would you
only.
need to
Imagine
learn that?
Imagine there's the only bit of German that I know, and it's not even very useful at all. But it's stuck there in my brain, and I can't get it out.
Okay.
So there you go.
Okay,
It's a
boys and
kleine
girls,
Kinder, so-
you heard
And
it here first.
don't listen to that, don't learn it, but there we go, I did, and it's stuck. So
It's
there we
there
are.
forever.
It is there forever, unfortunately. But,
And of course, goodbye.
Uh-huh.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
There we
Auf
go.
Wiedersehen.
Auf
Good.
Wiedersehen.
Right, anyway, good. So we've done a bit of language, we've
We
done
have.
some funky facts.
We have.
So I'm really excited about the next part of the story, because remember yesterday we saw it took a little twist. So I
Yeah,
wonder what
where's
is
it
going to
going
happen
now?
today, so we'll find that out very shortly. Then we've got the fourth bit of our memory verse. Okay.
We're almost there.
So we're getting to the crux of what the memory verse is and what it's about.
Yeah.
Then we've got a song to sing, so more actions to do. We've got a nice craft
Oh
for you
yeah,
today. So
great craft today.
you will need, here it is, your
The
activity
resource
pack.
pack,
The
yeah.
resource pack, so all the stuff you need for the craft is there, so get that handy. And then we have our interview. We actually
Oh, yeah.
did this one on Zoom. So this is a Zoom
This
interview.
is a Zoom.
So
In for a treat
in for a treat
today.
with that one. And then we shall be back to test your knowledge of how well you have listened and how
Oh
well
yes,
you
we're
have
testing your
watched
knowledge.
our videos. So,
Backpackers, we know you're smart, but you have to put it to the test.
indeed. Right, we will see you very soon.
Auf Wiedersehen.
It's a beautiful day today, and it's great to be out and about in the beautiful sunshine. And I've come today to visit my friend Rose. She's got a beautiful garden, and our story has a garden in it today. Unfortunately, I've got no garden. I live in a flat, but I'm so fortunate to have my wonderful friend Rose, who lets me come to her garden. So come have a look around and meet my wonderful friend Rose. What a great name for a girl that's got a lovely garden. Rose, so nice to see you.
Oh, hiya Rhoda, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks very much.
Rose, could you tell our wonderful backpackers here just what your garden means to you?
Well, as you can see, I've got lots of flowers and lots of plants, and the garden means an awful lot to me. I can come out here and I can spend hours and get lost and planting and sowing seeds and putting things together and making wee displays. You know, this reminds us of God's love, God's loveliness. All the flowers show us that all the different petals and flowers and things, it shows God's loveliness and the beauty of creation, which is all started from God. And also as well, the peace I find in here, it's very quiet, so I really enjoy coming to the garden where I can switch off and just concentrate. And also don't forget that we can grow fruit and veg, which I don't do, I've never tried it, but because my garden's not big enough, I like the flowers.
Oh, thanks for telling us all about that, Rose. Well, in our story today, backpackers, it features a garden. It's the garden. We're going to hear a story about the Garden of Gethsemane, and it's about Jesus in the garden. And in their last story, Jesus had his final meal with his friends, and at that meal, he picked out the one who was going to betray him. I'm so lucky to have my wonderful friend Rose. I couldn't imagine how I would feel if my friend had disappointed me and betrayed me. I'd be so sad. And Jesus goes to the garden in our story. He goes to the Garden of Gethsemane, and he's really sad. He's not just sad because his friend has betrayed him, but he's sad because he knows what is ahead. He knows he's going to be taken and he's going to be killed, but he chooses to go anyway. It's a bitter choice to make, a hard choice to make. Jesus led his disciples to the Garden of Gethsemane, and Gethsemane, in those days only rich people had gardens, and Gethsemane means olive press. It wasn't really a garden like this one is. It was owned by a rich man, and people would go there and there would be gates at the garden. He left most of his disciples at the gates, but he took 3 into the garden a little bit further with him, Peter, James and John. And he was really wanting to go to get some peace, to get some quiet. His soul was very sorrowful, he felt very, very sad, and the best thing he could think of to do at that time was to pray. And he went to the garden to pray to his Father God. And while he went to pray, he asked the disciples to wait and to watch and to pray, because he knew that there would be people coming to arrest him and to take him. And he wanted the disciples to keep watch. And as he prayed, he was so sorrowful because he knew what was going to happen. And he asked God, he said, Father, if it's possible, would you please take this cup away from me? He went 3 times. He prayed 3 times the same prayer and went back to his disciples each time. Each time his disciples had fallen asleep. I don't think they realised the seriousness of what was going to happen to Jesus. I think they would have kept awake if they'd known exactly what was going to happen. The last time Jesus went a wee bit further, the 3rd time, he went, and as he was praying, a great light shone upon him. And an angel came just to comfort him. And at that, Jesus began to be strengthened. He was strengthened. He got up and he said to God, "Not my will, but your will be done." "Get up," he said to Peter, James and John as he saw them, and they'd fallen asleep again. "It's time to go. My enemies are coming." They hardly reached the other disciples when the lights of a mob approached. Many soldiers, people, and some leaders of Israel were led into the garden by Judas, the one who was his friend, the one who had sat at supper with him just the night before. And Judas had led him. And with one kiss to Jesus, he said, "Here's the one." And he betrayed Jesus with a kiss. Who are you looking for?" Jesus said. "Jesus of Nazareth," they answered. "I am he," Jesus replied. Jesus could have actually escaped. He didn't need to tell them who he was, but he chose to stand before the mob. The disciples watched with silent wonder. The mob gathered around Jesus. "If you seek me, let these others go their way," he said, pointing to the disciples. Then the soldiers used ropes to tie Jesus together. The disciples couldn't believe their eyes as Jesus just stood there silently, taking his arrest. They thought Jesus might have walked away, but he didn't. The mob began to move back down to the valley. They were taking Jesus towards the high priest's house, and he was going to be tried at the high priest's palace, Caiaphas's palace. This was unbelievable. The disciples were so afraid that they all ran away and left him. They couldn't understand why Jesus would actually choose to suffer. It was amazing love that led Jesus to choose to suffer. Love for all of those disciples, all of the ones that he created, including me and you backpackers.
Hi guys, welcome back to Remembering Verse. We're on day 4 already.
First, let's start with a recap what we've learned so far this week. So on Monday, we learned
Jesus said, "The Father loves me." Tuesday, we learned, "Because I gave up my life."
And yesterday we learned so that I may get it back again.
Today we're going to be using our balloons again. And the sentence says, "No one takes my life from me."
Shall we say that together?
No one takes my life from me.
Now let's do it with some balloons. Go on.
No one takes my life from me. Another balloon?
Yeah.
No one takes my life from me.
Let's do it with no balloons now.
No one takes my life from me. Let's put the whole memory verse together.
Say it with us.
Jesus said, "The Father loves me because I give up my life so that I may get it back again. No one takes my life from me."
Good job.
Come back tomorrow. See you later.
And welcome back again to the craft table at Backpackers. I can't believe that we're actually on day 4 of your backpacker journey. It's Thursday and today you're in Switzerland. And Switzerland is famous for chocolate and mountains and, well, lots of good things. In the story about Jesus, when you hear it, it's really basically about Jesus showing his love for all of us. So, mountains, showing love, what's today's craft going to be about? Well, in Switzerland, there's a very old folk tale, and that means a very old story that's been passed down for years and years. And it's about a young man who was in love with a beautiful young girl. But she was so beautiful that he knew that all the other young men were in love with her as well. And he thought, well, he would really need to show how much he loved her. He'd have to show her how brave he was, and he'd need to give her something special. So he decided that he would show how brave he was by climbing the highest mountain near the village that he lived in. That was really brave. And he knew that high up on the mountain there was a beautiful little flower that lay hidden amongst the stones. So when he got near the top of the mountain, he started to search and he found this lovely white flower. And it was called an Edelweiss. Edelweiss. And there's a song about the Edelweiss as well. So he took the flower and he carefully worked his way back down the mountain and he gave it to the beautiful young girl. And I think the story ends with, and they all lived happily ever after, because he got back safely and she saw how much he loved her. He risked his life for her to bring the flower. So we're going to make a card, a greetings card, that you can give to someone that you actually care about a lot. And on the front of the card, we're going to make an Edelweiss flower like this.
Then inside, once you've decided who you're going to give it to, you can write some words, or you might even just draw a big heart shape and write your name on it. It's up to you. Let's get busy making the card. Now, the first thing to do with your piece of blue card is to fold it in half again. I'm going to put it on the table so I get it nice and straight. Edge to edge, take your time and then fold along nice and firm. You've got your card like that. Now, when you start sticking on, just double check you've got it the right way round and you're not going to put it so that it opens backwards. So that's the way it should go. And then also in your pack, you've got a piece of white paper and it has 5 small petals and 5 large petals. And you need to cut these out. And then on your card, if you look at the one that's already made, you place your 5 small petals first and stick them on. And when you're sticking them on, make sure that they go edge to edge like that, so they overlap a little bit. Fit the 5 in. And then you take the bigger petals and they must go on with the round bit to the middle. So stick them on like this, on top, in the gaps between the little petals. That's always a little gap. And push it in there and glue it on. And when that's done, take your piece of yellow tissue paper, tear it into as many pieces as you want, really, up to you. Scrunch it up, roll it like that in the palm of your hand and put it in the middle. And that they're yellow, these bits, because that's where the pollen is. The Edelweiss flower is also sometimes called the wool flower because the petals on it are actually quite furry and woolly. So that's your Edelweiss flower made. And all you have to do now is think about who you're actually going to give it to and who you care about. And I'm sure whoever receives it will be very, very happy indeed. Don't forget today's activity sheet, and we have a cross on the activity sheet today with some flowers, and it's a colouring in activity to remind you of the story about Jesus. Have fun again, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Well, we've met some amazing people on our travels, haven't we, backpackers? There was the child from the crowd at the triumphant entry. We've met the woman with the perfume, and we've met a disciple. And as we've toured around, we've seen that there's a real story developing here about this Jesus character.
Did I hear you mention that criminal?
Criminal? Jesus? The one who came to the city as a hero? Who was anointed with expensive perfume and shared a special meal with all his friends? Surely you don't mean him.
I most certainly do. He's been arrested by the high priest.
How did that happen? Where did you find him?
One of his friends led us to him.
One of Jesus' friends? I mean, he'd only just had a special meal with them.
Well, it's true. We were in a garden, we were led to a garden, and Jesus was there, and they kissed him. This man called Judas, one of his friends, kissed him to tell us that it was him. And so we knew exactly who it was that we should arrest.
Some friend he turned out to be, betraying Jesus with a kiss. So what are you going to do now?
Well, I'm just on my way to inform the high priest that he's been captured.
Captured? But what did he do?
Well, he's claiming to be the king of the Jews, and no one's happy about that.
But isn't he from the family of King David?
That may be true, but he's not the king. We live under the rule of the Roman emperor, and Jesus is trying to take his place.
If it's the Romans who are unhappy with Jesus, why has the high priest arrested him?
Well, the high priest is unhappy with Jesus too. He's been challenging their authority. Did you know he overturned all the tables in the temple He made a right mess, he did.
So Jesus has been arrested because people are afraid of what he says and what he stands for. What will happen to him now?
Well, I guess he'll be asked some questions and we'll see what he has to say for himself.
And who's going to ask him these questions?
Well, usually it would be the council of the priests, but Pilate, the Roman governor, will also want to ask some questions. The Romans are worried that people might try kicking them out, the Romans, so they put troublemakers to death.
Put to death? Really?
Who knows? Time will tell. Usually the people get a say. Depends how they feel about this Jesus bloke.
I'm sure he'll be fine. The people love him. Look at the way he greeted them when he entered the city.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure. Anyway, I better get on. See ya.
Oh no, I wonder if Jesus will be okay.
A dollar for a spot, you're a tiny little drop of God's love. God's love. How cool that I get it all like a mighty waterfall splashing all over me. Don't just get a dollar for a spot, you're a tiny little drop of God's love. God's love. How cool that I get it all like a mighty waterfall splashing all over me. I don't get less if I make a mess. I never get less than this very, very best. This love for me is totally free, and nothing I can be will do earn it. So praise him with your hands in the air now. Praise him with dancing feet now. Praise him with your hands, let's clap now. Praise him with your whole body in, out. Praise him with your voice, let's shout, shout. Praise him, everybody go praise the Lord. I don't just get a dollar for a splodge, you're a tiny little drop of God's love. God's love. How cool that I get it all like a mighty waterfall splashing all over me. I don't just get a dollar for a splodge, you're a tiny little drop of God's love. God's love. How cool that I get it all like a mighty waterfall splashing all over me. I don't get less if I make a mess. I never get less than this very, very best. His love for me is totally free, and nothing I can be will do earn it. So praise him with your hands in the air now. Praise him with dancing feet now. Praise him with your hands, let's clap now. Praise him with your whole body in, out. Praise him with your voice, let's shout, shout. Praise him, everybody come praise the Lord. So praise him with your hands in the air now. Praise him with dancing feet now. Praise him with your hands, let's clap now. Praise him with your whole body in, out. Praise him with your voice, let's shout, shout. Praise him, everybody come praise the Lord, the Lord.
Right, backpackers, we have got to that bit where we're going to test all that we've actually been doing today, Andy.
Yeah.
Something from the story, things that you've heard or made or seen. So, question number 1. Ein, if it was in German.
Oh.
And name something Switzerland is famous for. Now, we've given you loads of clues for that.
Yeah, you might even come up with one of your own. You never know.
Yeah, there might be other things.
Might be other things. Okay. Right, question number 2. Can you remember today's memory verse? So day 4, can you remember today's memory verse?
Okay.
Maybe you can remember it all. Day 1, 2, 3 and 4.
That would be
We shall see.
amazing. Question number 3. Now, this was quite a somber story today. What happened to Jesus today in our story?
Okay, question number 4 might give away part of that.
It will.
But who betrayed Jesus and how did he do it?
So you've got to name
You name the person, and how he did it.
And then the last question, I'm sorry, give me 5. Why did people, yeah, I've thought about this as well, why did people want Jesus dead? So Andy, let's kick off the answers.
Yeah, so number 1 we asked you, something that Switzerland was famous for. Well, we have mentioned chocolate, so if you mentioned chocolate you would be correct. Mountains and lakes, the scenery, how beautiful it is. Clocks.
Oh gosh,
Cuckoo
yes.
clocks, Swiss clocks, things like that.
Clocks,
You could do that.
and Swiss clocks,
cheese.
watches.
We had our watches as well. We had our cheese, so
Of course,
Swiss cheese.
yeah.
I don't know if anyone watches tennis, but Roger Federer.
Oh, Roger
Pretty
Federer.
good Swedish. Swedish. That's Tuesday. Switzerland tennis player. So
Absolutely.
fantastic. And accidentally invading other countries. Apparently, that's what they're known for as well. So
And
any
their
of those
flag's
things.
quite famous.
Oh yes.
Their flag's quite famous.
Well,
It's a big plus.
mathematically. Oh. There you go, mathematically it's a big plus. I was also going to mention it's actually a square and actually has 4 lines of symmetry, which is more than most countries because
That's
they're
the
rectangles.
mathematician coming
That is
out.
the math, yeah, it is, absolutely.
Okay,
Right.
and then question number 2. Today's memory verse. Now Andy, can you actually remember today's memory verse?
Yeah, oh, there's a test. No one takes my life from me.
Excellent.
Is that correct?
That is
Oh,
correct, and I hope you got that too, backpackers.
And you might have even remembered all of it so far.
Yeah,
So if
that
you
would
did
be if
that,
you're putting it all together.
Bonus points for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Well done.
And
Right.
question number 4. Andy, you doing that one?
Okay, so number 3. What happened to Jesus today in our story? Well, he was betrayed by one of his disciples, there's a clue, and he was arrested.
Yeah.
So he was betrayed and he was arrested.
And who betrayed him? Well, it was Judas. That was one of his closest friends. Still hard to imagine that. And he actually betrayed him with a kiss.
Because we learned that from the soldier that we
Yeah,
interviewed
that was
today.
interviewed.
That he said that was a sign. As soon as Judas went up and kissed this man, then they knew that was the person they
That's
had to
right, that's
arrest,
right.
and that's when they arrested him. And the last one, well, why did people want Jesus dead? Because we'd heard on Monday that everybody welcomed him in and they were all cheering him and there was a big
Cheering.
triumphant entry.
Palm leaves and
Exactly.
everything.
And then on Tuesday, we learned how special it was that someone would give a bottle of expensive perfume to anoint Jesus with. And when some people thought it should have gone to the poor, but they realised how special Jesus was.
Absolutely.
So how has it changed? How has it changed that
Yeah,
people are dead?
everything kind of turned around.
Well, Jesus was claiming that he was the king of the Jews. Some people thought he was challenging Romans' authority. They kind of felt they had to get rid of him, or else he would become more popular than the authority. So people were thinking along those
They were
lines.
kind of afraid.
They were afraid of what Jesus was and who he was and how much people he had following them. So they kind of wanted rid of him.
Andy, I've got one last question.
Okay.
Why do you have elephants on your waistcoat?
Oh yeah. I'd have to explain this story. Well, I think it got a bit lost in translation because I thought, well, I'm going to mix up with the waistcoats a bit today. So instead of having stamps, I thought, well, we could have mountain goats because there's another thing that Switzerland is famous for, mountain goats. But I ended up with elephants instead. So I think it got a wee bit lost in translation there. And,
Okay.
But I thought I'd wear it anyway because it's quite colourful and things. And
Andy, I've got a joke about elephants.
a joke about elephants.
About
Well, I'm
elephants,
glad I got this
even
waistcoat.
in Switzerland.
Even in Switzerland.
It's meant to be. Andy, why did the elephants get banned from swimming in the swimming pool?
I don't know. How did elephants get banned from swimming in the swimming pool?
Because they kept swinging their trunks.
Trunks.
Oh,
not
yeah,
trunks.
trunks
They
and
were, anyway,
okay.
cool. Right. Well, so there's the quiz. Hopefully you have done very well with the quiz. Just to as a reminder, we would love to see your crafts. So any crafts you've made, send us a picture to office@newcriags.co.uk. Today's postcard is a lovely picture of the Matterhorn there, the mountain there. So feel free to write in the back of that and send that in as well because we'd love to hear your jokes.
I heard that, Andy.
Oh, sorry. So jokes, and we'd love to any comments that you want to make, any questions that you have, we'd love to
We would love to hear from you, backpackers.
Good.
What a great day!
Absolutely.
And Andy, I can't believe we're getting ready for our last day.
Our last day. Tomorrow
oh my
is the
goodness.
last
Oh,
day.
and we've got a little treat for our travel. We won't give it away
No,
just
we
yet.
won't. But before we go, we're just going to finish with a prayer. Now today is quite a somber story.
Yeah,
It's
it is
taken
actually.
a turn. So we're just going to have a nice little prayer that I'm just going to read out, and then that'll be us done for today.
Excellent.
So let's pray. Thank you, Jesus, that you gave your body and blood as a sacrifice so that we can be friends with God again. Amen.
Amen.
Right, well, we better get ready to go.
Okay.
And we will see you tomorrow for the last day
And
of
let's use our German for saying goodbye, Andy.
Oh, yes.
Auf
Auf
Wiedersehen.
Wiedersehen.
I'm going on a journey down a narrow and bumpy road. I'm going on a journey so that I can learn and grow. Reaching far and wide, and adventure I will find that it's so great having Jesus by my side. I'll be stretched so tall, I might wobble but I won't fall. In circles up and down around the bend. Step by step, not much longer, for I know I'm getting stronger, and it's so great having Jesus as my